Hi, we're Richard and Jackie from Early Retirement Wanderlust.
We've just come to the end of an amazing week skiing in Arc 1950 with our families.
So what we want to do in this video is to show you the skiing in the region. We want to show you around the accommodation where we stayed and take you around the village because it is so beautiful.
As we said in the intro, we have just finished the most amazing week skiing. We've been staying in a little village called Arc 1950. It's part of the huge Paradiski ski domain.
And Paradiski is enormous, and I think over the course of this week we've only scratched the surface of what is available in the ski domain. We've chosen to just stay around the Les Arcs area, but there's a whole half of the ski domain still to discover later in our holidays. So the most important thing of the ski holiday is the actual skiing. So have a look now at some of our highlights of the week.
We thought for this video we would break it down into three different areas. First of all, the ski domain, so showing you some clips and videos of the area that we've skied. Secondly, looking around Arc 1950, which is an absolutely beautiful village. It's definitely the prettiest of the three Les Arcs villages. And lastly, just having a look around and a tour of this amazing accommodation that we ended up with, which was much better than we expected. Starting with the ski domain, it's probably best to start talking about the cost of lift passes, the most expensive part, I find, of our ski trip. The passes start from €330 per adult, and that's just for the Les Arcs domain, so you can't go across to the bigger part of the Paradiski, which goes across to Le Plan as well. You can get a big cable car. The kids went for the Paradiski pass, which they could then ski any part of the domain, including Le Plan area. It was €369 per adult, but they did get a little bit of a bonus that you can buy, I think it's called like an adult tribe. If there's more than 3 of you, you get €10 each off the pass. They saw that as a bonus because it was an evening in the bar.
And there is a similar deal for families. If you are together and you've got young children, you can get a little bit of a discount, but it really is just a little bit of a discount. It's not very much at all.
And the information is on the Les Arcs website for the more minute details of all the different passes that you might want. We actually went for a season pass because we were out here for 4 weeks altogether this time.
And the season pass may sound expensive at €780 for the full Paradisky pass, but we just worked it out that in reality, if you're going to be over here for more than a couple of weeks, it's actually a savings. If I can somehow get the technology to work, I will hopefully be able to show you now the extent of the ski domain of the Paradisky area. As we've already said, it is absolutely enormous. Luke and Charlotte skied from one side of the domain to the other and back and covered over 70 kilometres. There are hundreds of kilometres of piste, and it's just a massive mountainous playground to go out and explore. Les Arcs is a really good ski resort for skiers of all ability. So for beginners, there are lots and lots of greens and then blue runs that they can progress onto. For intermediate skiers, there are blues and reds that range from really wide slopes to much more challenging, and then there are some insane black slopes that we've stayed well away from for the more advanced skiers. Interestingly, this week it's also catered for an awful lot of off-piste skiers, which again is something that is just not what we want to be involved in, but there is something for everyone in Les Arcs.
There are loads of different cafes and restaurants on the mountains, ranging from cheaper self-service type restaurants where you can just go and call off for a nice coffee and hot chocolate in the mornings, to really expensive cafes and restaurants if that's what you want in the mountains.
One of the things Les Arcs has done quite extensively over the course of the last few years is invest in its lift system, and the lift system has one or two older lifts, but there aren't any drag lifts in the area. Do quite a lot of modern chairlifts, including some that have pull down hoods and heated seats, and then ranging all the way to really modern gondolas that sweep you up the mountain in no time at all.
We've definitely enjoyed quite a bit of the après skiing this week. There are one or two quite lively après bars on the mountains, the Folle Douche being the one that comes to mind the most, where we've spent quite a few afternoons dancing on tables. There are some more sedate places that you can go, like the Arpet Bar, which is just above Arc 1800. It's on the sunny side of the mountain and it has got gorgeous views from it. Just sitting and drinking a nice bottle of wine was one of our favourite afternoons. Down in the villages, there are plenty of little bars and cafes to ski down to at the end of the day. So there's something for everyone.
Arc 1950 as a village is really well set up for self-catered accommodation. So one of my favourite places to go to was the boulangerie in the morning and try my pigeon French with the staff, who were just lovely. And also, there is a really well-stocked supermarket, so there is no need to bring loads of food up the mountain or to worry about self-catering when in Arc 1950.
There's a range of restaurants that suit all prices and all budgets. We had a beautiful meal at Bonhomie, a pizza restaurant with traditional French food, but we also had quite a few interesting meals and cheap meals from Melly's Snack Bar, which is just a ski in, ski out, cheap and cheerful food. One of the kids' favourite places in the evenings was to go down to the Irish bar after we'd finished tea. They played pool, they had lots of darts tournaments, and they drank lots of Guinness.
Is there any holiday destination in the world that does not have an Irish pub? I would like to know. In terms of skiing, obviously Arc 1950 is well set up for that activity. It's got a range of different ski hire shops and a whole range of ski equipment shops where you can buy the bits and bobs that you might want to buy around the edges of skiing.
Yeah, there's also loads of really lovely ski gear if you can afford to buy it.
Really handily, within the village, it has its own lift pass office, and please just be really careful because it has got an automated section and then a staffed section. And when we visited on Saturday, we weren't aware that there was a staffed section to the office, so we thought that we couldn't buy our passes, but you go around the corner and you find the actual manned office. As you would expect from all ski villages, there are a number of different ski schools based in the village, and they meet in the central square every morning and depart off from the traditional ESF to the more modern evolution ski schools, but both of which are really popular.
Something that we absolutely loved staying in Arc 1950 is it's the true definition of ski in, ski out. From our apartment, we literally put our skis on at the front door and we could be on the slopes and down to the first lift within seconds.
It may come as a surprise, but Arc 1950 is at an altitude of 1950 metres, which for most ski resorts is really quite high. So it can get a little bit cold at night, but what it does mean is that you have got amazing snow conditions right on your doorstep, and anywhere up from the village, you know you are going to be guaranteed snow pretty much for the entire season.
As a village, it's really quite easily accessible. We drove up from Bourg Saint-Maurice and the car park is fab. You literally have 2 or 3 entrances, but the whole car park is beneath the village, and our accommodation, we parked about 20 metres away from the lift. The lift came up to the 3rd floor and we were maybe 10 metres away from getting everything into our apartment. It was that easy. If you're not driving, there are transfers up from Bourg Saint-Maurice if you get the train. There are bus transfers that you can get from Geneva and Lyon. Our children got bus transfers with Ben's buses. And for some people who we've met that own apartments in the village, they actually used to get the Eurostar or get the train down to Bourg Saint-Maurice. They got the funicular that goes up to Arc 1600. There's a bus that goes from 1600 all the way around to 1950. There's lots of different ways of actually getting here.
And getting around the resort, with it being so big, can be a little bit imposing, but there is a really good network of buses. So particularly if you're not wanting to ski too far, or you want to go out for drinks in a different village, then that's quite easy to do with the buses running from early in the morning to quite late at night.
Yeah, we were really surprised that you could get from all these distant villages. I think it took us about 45 minutes on the bus to get from here to Arc 1600, but actually it just opens that mountain up to you.
And it's important to remember all of those local buses are complimentary, so there's no cost to that.
Within the village, there are several different apartment blocks, and interestingly, they're all on different themes. We are in an Austrian Tyrolean style apartment, and it's been amazing. So we'll start with a bit of a tour. We are in the living room, and it is huge. You could have a party in here. We've got a dining room that would seat comfortably 10 people. The kitchen is not massive, I have to say. I don't think many people that come to Arc 1950 are massive cookers. I think they probably go out for tea more than they actually eat in. For me, the most exciting thing when we arrived here was actually finding that we'd got an open fire. We were not expecting that. And it's been fab, just sitting around really cosy in the evening around the fire. The living space is actually quite good as well. It's got lots of comfy seating. We've got a big sofa, a couple of armchairs, and it is a really nice social space. Outside there is a small balcony space, but it is absolutely freezing out there. I think the best thing we've used it for over the last week is as an extra fridge. We've had lots of beers and wine out there.
Despite the wide-angle lens, the kitchen has been a bit of a constant frustration to me, as Jackie has intimated. It has everything that you would expect from a kitchen, and surprisingly it has an oven, which not all French apartments do. It's got a fridge, it's got a dishwasher, but it is just so tight for space. We were delighted to find that it has got all sorts of other accessories. So it's got an espresso coffee machine, it has a filter coffee machine, a kettle, toaster. So in essence, it has everything you could possibly require, but in such a tiny, tiny space.
A definite added bonus, and we have never had this before in a French apartment. There's an upstairs. Normally we're in tiny little rabbit hutches that have almost got the bunk beds, our bedroom and the living room all in one. So this is amazing. With there being 6 of us and in 3 couples, we did go for one of the 3-bed apartments. It is one of the biggest places in the apartment block, and it's got 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. It's huge.
There are 2 double bedrooms and 1 twin bedroom, all of which are decorated in the Tyrolean style. This double bedroom that the girls had has a balcony outside, but the balcony is currently covered in about 2 foot of snow, so you can't actually use that. But the bedrooms are spacious, they've got vaulted ceilings, and we've always felt that we've had enough space.
A bathroom's a bathroom, but we thought we'd show you anyway. There are 2 bathrooms and 1 toilet. Plenty for a party of 6.
It may be a little bit strange that I'm showing you robes, but it's a reminder to us as to why we need robes in this apartment complex, because it has got an amazing spa that we have really enjoyed using. Not too many nights because the steam room just tended to wipe me out and send me to sleep straight away. It's got a sauna, it's got an outside pool which they try to keep it up to about 28 degrees, so it's a little bit fresh. It's blooming fresh as you're going out there in bare feet, but there is also a hot tub, which is a very surreal experience. We've sat out there on a number of nights under the moonlight with the lifts going past, snow piled up, very odd, but very relaxing. Another added luxury that we're not necessarily used to on our ski holidays is that it has got the most high-tech boot room that you could possibly imagine. So they've got new ski lockers and boot lockers that are fully heated. So at the end of the day, you pop all your gear in there, and then when you go down in the morning, everything is dry, toasty warm, and it is just another little touch that makes the holiday that much easier.
So we hope you've enjoyed the quick A to Z of all things to do with ARC 1950. There's probably lots of things that we've missed out actually.
But we have now got about 10 minutes to finish packing the apartment, get everything into the van, and then we are heading down the valley for a good few weeks in the campervan. It's going to be very different to this, but we'll take you along and we will compare and contrast. So see you later.
Bye.